I had the system rigged on me.
I'm joined now by Democratic Congressman David Cicilline of the House Judiciary Committee, and Caroline Frederickson is president of the American Constitution Society and also author of the great new book, The Democracy Fix. Congressman, thank you for coming on. I love having you as a guest. I want to ask you about fighting. And my problem is that the Democrats say we're going to be very judicious. We're going to have hearings, blah. We're going to have documents, and then we're going to have a decision whether to proceed with impeachment or not. Okay. But we're understanding that the ability of this administration to foot drag, to kick the can down the road, is enormous, that they can use months using up court time and all kinds of procedural obstacles to throw them in your path so that maybe by Christmas you'll get the president's tax returns, if ever, and then you have hearings, and then you have a meeting to decide whether to impeach or not. I'm just wondering what the time frame is that helps you. It looks like you're never going to be able to get around to it till next election time. Do you have confidence the clock's on your side? The clock, the calendar?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. First of all, Chris, Congress cannot allow the president to prevent us from conducting our oversight. There are three things Congress can do if witnesses refuse to comply with a lawfully issued subpoena. One is refer it to the Department of Justice for prosecution because that's a crime. We don't have a lot of confidence Mr. Barr will do that. The second is start a civil proceeding. Citation from the court that would adjudge that person in contempt and do it that way. But there's a third reason, a third method, which we can do right away. Since 1821, the Supreme Court has recognized the inherent right of Congress to hold individuals in contempt and to imprison them. That was reaffirmed in a case in 1935. Congress has the responsibility, and I would say the obligation, to hold individuals in contempt who do not comply with a lawful subpoena, who do not produce documents, and we ought to be prepared to imprison them because we have that inherent right in order.
I love you, but let me ask you this, Congressman. How do you get the sergeant-at-arms in the House to go pick up the Secretary of the Treasury, break past his Secret Service agents, grab him, and take him to Capitol Hill and put him into some calaboose or something? I can't see that.
Chris, that's exactly what happened in 1935. They put the person in custody for 10 days. Look, Congress has to be serious about this. We have a right under the Constitution to get these documents, to hear this testimony under oath. Our oversight responsibilities cannot be done without information and witnesses and testimony. If the president prevents that from happening, we can't do oversight. We have three ways to make sure that witnesses comply, and we got to use them.
Caroline, here's the question. Does Congress have real military power to do something like that, to go have enough force to go take someone and to deny them their freedom, somebody in the administration?
Well, you know, the congressman is right that the law on this is clear, but, you know, whether the politics are clear is not so clear to me.
What would the American people think if they saw Congress arresting a member of the administration?
I leave it to politicians to make that determination. If I just say, I think there are lots of tools that you have that are powerful, and you may use that one. It may become what's necessary, but you also have the power of the purse, which to me seems to be a pretty significant one. It's not going to work in every circumstance, but certainly when you're talking about the officials who are not complying, you can direct whether or not they're going to be funded.
Can you say no more gasoline for your airplanes? Can they do that? You're laughing, but I'm asking.
Well, no, I mean, they have the power of the purse. They're going to write the budget, and they're going to determine what's appropriated.
Congressman, didn't the president stop the speaker, the Democratic leader at the time, Nancy Pelosi, from flying one time on a Codell? He just called her back to the office. So he has the cojones to do this kind of hardball. He's willing to say, I don't care how embarrassing it looks, I'm going to make her my subservient public official, somebody below me, by showing I'm the boss. You guys would do that on the Hill. You'd show that the president was below you. He's Article 2 of the Constitution. You're Article 1.
No, actually, it's less about showing the president's below us, and it's more about showing the person at the top is the American people. We are doing this on behalf of the American people who have a right to know the truth, who have a right to see that no one is above the law, and we are going to get the witnesses and the testimony under oath and the documents that we need to do this work. And we have three ways to do it, as well as that great suggestion about the power of the purse. We're going to use all the tools at our disposal, and the American people are going to finally hear the full story. They're going to see the Mueller report come to life before their eyes in these hearings so they can really get a sense exactly what the president did.
Well, I wonder which subcommittee of appropriations handles the executive office of the president, because if you cut up his gas, if you put that airplane of his on the ground forever, he might listen to you. Anyway, meanwhile, Trump's falsely claiming he never tried to fire the special counsel. In a tweet today, he said, As has been incorrectly reported by the fake news media, I never told then White House counsel Don McGahn to fire Robert Mueller, even though I had the legal right to do so. Yet the special counsel found substantial evidence to show otherwise. Mueller's report specifically details that in June of 2017, the president called McGahn and directed him on the phone to have the special counsel removed to fire Mueller. On a second occasion, McGahn says that Trump told him Mueller has to go. Call me back when you do it. But McGahn threatened to resign at that point. Congressman, again, back to you on this question. The president's willing to lie. What do you do with that?
Yeah, I mean, well, the problem is that's one of the reasons I think the president did not testify under oath in response to the special counsel's request. That is why we need to have witnesses come before the committee or under oath who can explain the full context of this evidence, explain the circumstances in which it happened, so we can gather up the full report, all the supporting documents, and frankly, so the American people can see the story, see that. And by the way, you know, the president talks about 12 angry Democrats. The vast majority of the evidence in the Mueller report came from members of his own administration. Not 12 angry Democrats, his own people. And I think that's why he's furious. He not only told Don McGahn to fire the special counsel, he then asked Don McGahn to lie and say that I never told you to do that.
Okay, Congressman, just do me a favor, because I do believe you. I think you're a great public servant, and I love Rhodey. I just want to say one thing to you. When they send a sergeant at arms to come arrest Steve Mnuchin, the Secretary of Treasury, give me the tip-off, will you? I want to be there with the camera. I want to watch that.
It's the threat of that's going to force those witnesses to show up and comply with the subpoena.
I just want to see the police power of Congress over the White House. Thank you so much, U.S. Congress.